Good day and welcome to this video. Today we will be discussing on method study. This is an important technique that can be used anywhere where work is being done. It is of great benefit to know what it is and what it entails. So by the end of this video, you should be able to understand what method study is, to understand the procedure of method study, to understand what a flow process chart is, to know how to draw a flow process chart, and to understand what value-added and non-value-added activities are. The first step of knowing what anything is to know how to define it. If someone asked you what it is, its definition would be what you tell them. Work study is therefore the systematic recording and critical examination of existing and proposed ways of doing work as a means of developing and applying easier and more effective methods and reducing costs. This on its own is confusing. Too many big words are being used that the essence of the technique is hard to figure out. It can be broken down into this short sentence. Method study is finding out the best method for a particular job using the careful investigation of existing work methods, which can also further be broken down into basically method study is finding better ways to do things. Method study can be used to achieve the following things. You can use it when you want to improve your processes and procedures. It helps you examine your current processes and helps you see how you can make them better. It can help you improve the workplace layout and design of the plant and equipment. When you improve your processes, some of the improvements may lead you to changing everything about your workplace so as to make the procedure of your work better. Method study can also help you to improve the use of materials, machines, and manpower. This is the essence of method study, to use as little resources as possible to achieve maximum output. It also helps you to develop a better working environment that is safe and comfortable for workers. It also helps to carefully manage human effort and reduce fatigue that is unnecessary. The following are places of work in which you can perform work study. There are many other places, like your job shop, for example. As I said in the beginning of the video, work study can be done everywhere where work is being done. Work study has 8 steps which can be performed. We will do examples, but for now we will go through the steps. The first step is to select the job to be studied. You can select any process in the work that you do. This term process will be discussed later as well. The second step is now to record all the relevant facts about the job. These are facts like how long it takes to do them, what little activities or sub-activities form that job, everything that matters about the job. The third step is now to examine these facts. If you decided to do work study, you know already that there's a lot of room for improvement. These steps allow you to look at the gaps that can be filled or made better within your process. The fourth step is then to develop a new method with the knowledge you learned from step 3. You usually will develop a number of methods that are better than your current method. Step 5 then allows you to measure the work content and establish the standard time. For now we will just use a stopwatch analysis. We will see how long it takes for each method to be done, and then pick the method that takes up less time. For number 6, we then fully define this method, and then step 7, we install it by implementing it, and step 8, we maintain it by making sure we enforce it and make sure that everyone uses it. For step number 2, there are a number of recording techniques that can be used to record relevant facts about a job. The one we will focus on is the flow process chart. The flow process chart is used to represent processes. But what is a process? We need to start here so as to understand what a flow process chart is. A process is a series of activities or steps taken in order to achieve a desired end. So basically, if you want to put in an input, a process is what you do to that input to get a desired output. In the construction of a flow process chart, certain symbols are used. The circle represents an operation, which are the steps of a process. The square is inspection, which is where you check quality of your work. The arrow represents moving or transportation, which is movement by workers, equipment, or material. This could be movement between workstations or movement of equipment or material from one station to the next workstation. The semicircle, or the D, represents delay in the system. This could be time spent waiting for material or waiting for the next stage of the process. The upside down triangle is storage, meaning parts are stored, and it could also represent inventory. Combined activity is represented by a circle and a square. This shows that any of the above mentioned activities are occurring at the same time. Now we can deal with the flow process chart. It is a picture of a process. It is drawn with symbols that represent different kinds of activities, and it also defines the systems or tasks that are being studied. There are a number of types of process charts. The first one is a man type chart. This chart shows what the worker does. The second is a material type chart. This shows what happens to the material. And the third is the equipment type chart, which represents how the equipment is being used. Our focus will be on the material type chart. A process chart looks like this. This is where you fill in different steps of the process. This is not the type of template used in the examples, but it still represents the same thing. Now that we know how to record activities, we need to know what activities are good and which are not good. What activities are we supposed to cut out? Value-added activities are those that add value in the eyes of the customer. These ones should be optimized. Business non-value add activities don't add value in the eyes of the customer, but need to be done as legal requirements. We can't fully eliminate them, but we can minimize them. Non-value added activities do not add value in the eyes of the customer. These are completely useless and waste money. We need to eliminate them. But then who decides what activities are value-added activities and which ones are not? The following tests help us to decide. To test for non-value-added activities, we ask two questions. Would an external customer encourage the organization to do more of the activity? That's the first question. And the second question, would the organization be more likely to reach its goal by performing that activity? If both of these questions are answered no, then that activity is a non-value added activity. If both of them are answered yes, then that activity is a value added activity. The questions usually have the same answers for both of them. So there's no need to worry about having a yes or a no at the same time. Up to here, we have covered steps 1 to 6 of method study. Now we have to look at step 7 and 8, where we install and maintain the new method. We do this using the SDCA and PDCA tools. SDCA stands for standardize, do, check, and act. First, we standardize the new method. Then we do it. Perform the process according to the new standard. Then we make adjustments to ensure that the standards are met. And then we check if everyone is sticking to these new methods. And then we have the plan, do, check, act, the PDCA tool. It ensures continuous improvement over time. First, we plan on how to improve the new method. Then we use the new method to perform the process. and then we make adjustments to the improvements to make it better. From there, we check if the improvement exceeds the current standards so as to decide whether to implement them. This way, by the end of all these steps, you would have performed method study. Thank you for watching this video. The next video is ergonomics.